We are so thrilled to be partnering with Hinge. Hinge is the dating app designed to be deleted. As you all know, I'm a huge Hinge advocate as I met my partner of almost 3 years on the app. Even before meeting him, Hinge was always my go-to app because I met more relationship-minded people here and had some great dates. Clearly, I haven't been on the app for a little while, but I re-downloaded it to check out some of the new features. One that stood out to me was the voice prompt, my best friend's take on why you should date me, where your friend can hype you up. Not only does this make the profile creation less daunting, but it's not always easy to see your own green flags. So to test it out, I asked Yue some fun prompts to get her take on what I could put if I was dating again. So the first one, how long have we known each other? What was your first impression of me and how has that changed?
Julie and I have known each other for almost 10 years. My first impression of Julie was that she's very social, but I've learned that she has a lot more depth to her beyond the social butterfly that she is.
My next prompt, what do you think are my green flags?
I would say she's deeply loyal. She believes in love, curious mindset, and she is fearlessly ambitious.
And then last but not least, what kind of friend am I?
Julie is the kind of friend who will always have your back, no matter what.
Damn, that feels nice to hear. So download Hinge and try voice prompts today. Then find someone worth deleting the app for. I was so excited to get my shipment from Last Bottle Wines in the mail the other day, full of incredible red wines, all from Napa Valley. I love wine tasting, so having this to my door couldn't be happier. Also, couldn't be more excited that today's episode is brought to you by Last Bottle Wines. If you don't know already, they're a Napa-based online wine shop with a twist. They offer just one handpicked wine per day until it sells out, and they're always at incredible prices. We're talking 30 to 70% off retail. And the best part is that there's no subscriptions, no fees, and no minimum purchase. And I could not be more excited to bring this offer right now because they're having a marathon sale, which is coming up March 28th and 29th. Even better, we're offering Dateable listeners 10% off your first order with code DATEABLE. So if you are a wine lover like me, this is a great time to join. And did I mention that shipping is 100% free? So what are you waiting for? Mark your calendar for March 28th and 29th or get on it earlier if you want. You can sign up at lastbottlewines.com and use code DATEABLE and find out why Last Bottle is the most fun way to discover and buy amazing wine.
Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating sociologists.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to the Dateable Podcast. Brunch Talk. We're back.
We're back.
It feels like a while since we started to answer your burning dating questions. We know you have so many because we see the list of questions we have in queue. And we're here to help like the superheroes that we are.
They have been coming in strong the last couple months. So we're really excited to get back into this. And then for anyone who's new, we dissect it all. Any question you might have about your dating life. This is meant as a side dish to the rest of the podcast, our longer form content that runs every Wednesday. So make sure to also check that out too.
And why is it called Brunch Talk? Because we release these episodes on Sundays where we're hoping you're listening to this as you're getting brunch with your friends, with your buddies, with your date, or with yourself.
Yes, and we're here to do brunch with you every Sunday.
You can't get rid of us. A long-standing brunch buddies. So let's get to the question for this brunch talk. This comes from Bodie McBoatface. And the reason why I am giving this username a shout out is because we promise if you put your brunch talk question in the body of your Apple Podcast review, we will push it to the front of the queue. We'll answer it as fast as we humanly can. So here is the question. Should you go on a first date with someone off an app if you're not 100% sold on them yet?
Yes, and for more context, they also wrote, I would like to be more excited about it, but how can you be excited about someone you don't or barely know? It is hard. It is hard to be excited off of a 2D photo. We will go into that, but that is absolutely true. Bodie McBoatface, you are not alone in this one.
You know, it's funny. Some people can get really excited about a profile that they see because they fantasize about who this person is. I've definitely been there before. And 99.9% of the time, you're going to be disappointed by the person you meet because they're not going to meet your fantasy image of who they are. So I'd rather be in the side of Bodie McBoatface, which is like, you know, low expectations, maybe not as excited.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to online dating, I feel like you're never going to be 100% sure about someone just from their profiles and some message exchanges. You have to go off of a feeling, right? A feeling of, do I want to spend some time with this person because I find them intriguing and I want to get to know them better? I think that's the best you can do.
Absolutely. You know, we go into much more detail in last week's episode, so this is actually coming at a perfect timing, but we talk about all the limitations of apps and how it's near impossible to decide if someone is a match based off their profile and any conversation that you have. But the best you can do is a maybe is a yes and just keep going with it and seeing what develops. One of the challenges with apps is that people say that they can't ever actually get to that in real life date. And that's the only place where the magic is going to happen. So if you're feeling like a maybe, again, there's some attraction, maybe you're not blown away by their photo, but you could see something developing, then go on the date. You could be really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I know for me, for all the partners I met on the apps, like, of course I was attracted enough to like have the conversations, but I would never say that I looked at their profile and was like, this is it. This is my person. That never happened. It was meeting in person, seeing the energy. I was way more attracted in person. And I've seen it go the other way too, that you get really excited about the profile and you meet in person and it's a letdown. So just accepting apps for what they are.
Bring in that sense of curiosity.
Yeah.
If we're expecting excitement, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. But we bring in the curiosity. We come in with the, what can I learn about and from this person? Your chances of being happy about the outcome of that meeting are much higher because you are going to learn something new. I don't ever get that excited about meeting new friends. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I think this could be my BFF and I'm going to be seeing them a lot, this new person that I just met. No, you're just come in with a sense of curiosity and maybe you're going to spend some fun times together. And also, I always make sure that the first meeting, I'm doing something that I would otherwise enjoy anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it is going for a meetup at my favorite park where I would do that anyway on my own. So now I get to meet someone new. It just feels more additive in that way.
The expectations of dating apps is what's getting us in trouble. Like, we think that it's like Amazon, that we're going to just be able to sift through, find the perfect partner. They get sent to us in 24 to 48 hours, and the rest is history. And we're in a relationship, we're in love. It just doesn't work that way. These are people at the end of the day. These are not products. They are people. So we need to remember that. And we need to change our expectations. I agree with you with the facts. Like, we don't treat friends or professional contacts like this. It's just, I'm going to meet someone new. And, you know, like meeting someone in real life versus online, it's really interesting to me because I feel like they're actually like the total opposites. That in real life, you have the chemistry. You can tell if you're attracted, but you don't know anything about them. The basics of what you would just say, like, is this someone that I could be with? Like, that's not there in real life. You don't know any of that. But online, it's the exact opposite. You know their entire resume. You know all the criteria, maybe too much that you're making assumptions on height and things that don't ultimately matter because those are the variables that are there. But you don't know the attraction until you're in person. And how do we start to use dating apps to just replicate in real life meetings? That's kind of like, in my opinion, merging the best of both worlds, that you know this is maybe someone viable you could date, but also bringing that magic of like that reveal in real life when it comes time for it.
I know. I feel like that's $1 million question all apps are trying to solve is how do we merge reality and the virtual world? And it's very tough, but I know most people don't do this anymore, but taking your messaging switching to another platform like a phone call or a video call does help with some of that. I mean, it does
Yes.
gauge some level of chemistry. I remember being so in love with this guy's profile once on the League. Like, oh my gosh, this is my guy, you know? Everything he's saying, he's so quirky and witty, and his pedigree is exactly what I'm looking for. This is back when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing on dating apps. And when I got on the call with him, there was absolutely zero chemistry. And I'm so glad I didn't meet him in real life because it would have been such a letdown. But I'm glad I took that next step of just hearing someone's voice.
Right. At least you wasted, 10 minutes of your life, or took 10 minutes opposed to getting dressed up, building up your hope and expectation.
Yes.
I 100% agree. I think that was something that I did a lot, was that extra vetting stage, because, one of it is that I had to in the pandemic when I was like back in the thick of dating again. But I really wish that could live on a bit more. And I really don't think it's too much to ask someone to do a phone call before you meet.
No.
And if someone says no, then that's a sign right there. Like if they can't jump on the phone with you for 10 minutes, that's saying a lot. And I agree with you. I don't think there's a way that you can necessarily know that, you're so compatible by phone either. It kind of goes back to the 2D photo on dating apps and profile. Like, yeah, I think it's maybe a step up because you hear their voice and you can see how your conversation is meshing. But I wouldn't say it's a silver bullet either. But it does eliminate a lot of the people where there's just no connection and compatibility. So you can at least focus on the people that are the maybes. So when you meet up, you're at least set up for success in the sense that you know that you can already have a conversation with them.
What do you think about not calling the first date a date? I know we've often talked about it as like a meet and greet, and I think it's a little misleading for me to be like, yeah, I'm going on a date with someone I haven't met before. That's not a date. You're not dating yet. You're just meeting up.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor.
This episode is sponsored by Via. We all know there are things that can help set the mood in the bedroom, but did you know a little THC could also do that? Yes, Via has developed a unique blend of pleasure-enhancing cannabinoids, libido-strengthening herbs, and a low dose of THC all into one mind-blowing gummy called High Love. This gummy, wow, it will awaken your senses, increase blood flow, and intensify any sexual experience. I've been pleasantly surprised by the High Love gummies because it is just the right amount of THC for me to have a good time without feeling sleepy. And hey, if THC is not your thing, Via also offers a wide array of other gummies without it. And everything legally ships in 50 states with discreet packaging directly to your door. So if you're over 21, you can get 15% off and a free pack of award-winning Dreams THC plus CBN sleep gummies with our exclusive code DATEABLE at viahemp.com. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Let the gummies work their magic. Head to viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE to receive 15% off and one free sample of their Sleepy Dream gummies. That's viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE at checkout. Take your passion and pleasure to a whole new level with High Love from Via Hemp. This episode is made possible by Armoire. Armoire makes getting dressed easy. With a clothing rental membership from Armoire, build the perfect wardrobe with brands that are high quality, unique, and recommended just for you. All you have to do is take a 5-minute style quiz and select items from your dynamic, personalized closet. The styles show up at your door in as little as 2 days. Then when you're ready for new clothes, just swap them out. Listen, I live in Southern California. There is absolutely no need for puffer coats or any sort of those winter jackets. But when I travel anywhere else in the world in these cold months, I'm often burdened with the task of getting winter clothes. And now with Armoire, I can just rent my winter wardrobe. It's brilliant. Right now, our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That is armoire.style, spelled ARMOIRE.style/DATEABLE to get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today.
As you know, I recently left my corporate job and I've been in total recovery mode, all about self-care. One of my new routines is the nighttime shower before bed. There's just something about washing away the day and that reflection that's been super helpful for me. I've been using one of our partners, Osea's Mega Moisture Duo. This combo body oil and body lotion are so freaking incredible. It literally feels like I'm at a spa. I realized that the secret is seaweed and other skin level ingredients that are normally reserved for face products. And that's why I was so excited when Osea became one of our partners. And, we're so grateful for partners like this because one, they keep the show going, but they're also super good for all of our listeners and for our own well-being. So if you want to have that nighttime bliss like I am doing, you can get 10% off your first order site-wide with code DATEABLE at oseamalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. So head to oseamalibu.com and use the code DATEABLE for 10% off. Let us know which products you end up going with. Share them in social. Super excited to see what you end up choosing. I think we need to change this nomenclature,
right?
100%. Because, okay, think about it. If you went to a bar, let's say you're out with your friends, that's not like a date. You're not showing up at the bar. Let's say you meet someone
no.
attractive there. You could also go to the bar and see no one that's attractive to you, but you're just out with your friends. You're having a night out.
Yep.
That's the expectation. If you meet someone, that's the cherry on top. Where with dating, we go in being like, is this person going to be my soulmate? Am I going to fall in love after an hour of being with them? And your just expectations are all out of whack.
Because a date signifies that it's romantic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how do you know it's romantic yet? I don't want to be on a date with someone that I don't have a romantic connection with yet. Yeah, it's just really fucked up the way we talk about the first date and how someone can be like, I've been on 100 first dates this year. No, you've been on 100 meet and greets. You've met 100 people this year. They were not dates. Let's get it straight here.
Right. You could meet 100 people out and them never actually progress into anything more. It's the same difference. That, I think, is the actual issue here. And this is perpetuated by dating apps. Absolutely. Because you're on the dating app with the goal to go on a date. So every interaction is leading to this date, and that's how everyone talks about it. Also, it's really hard to stay friends with someone or a business contact with them if you met on a dating app because that's there. So if this was just the first time you met with this person, maybe this could develop in a different way. There's so much that's possible here.
Yeah.
This brings me back to why I did 500 brunches, because the idea behind it was that we would match people up and they would meet over brunch, and whether that becomes a romantic connection, a platonic connection, a business connection, it's more just when you're in high school or college and you're just meeting people everywhere. Some of them develop into more, some of them don't. That's just how it works. Yet with dating apps, we go in with that singular focus, and it really makes it hard for anything to go in a different direction.
This was Julie's venture for several years, and this is how we met each other.
Exactly.
True story.
Think about it. If we had gone, let's say it was a group dating thing, and you were there and I was there, we would never have been friends after.
No.
And what a miss that would have been. So opening that up too, it just enriches your life with all relationships.
We've also heard this story from several couples where they match on a dating app and maybe the conversation doesn't go anywhere, and several years later, they run into each other somewhere and it's oh, hey, you look familiar. I think we matched on a dating app. And then they decide to go out. I think that happens so naturally because we just need more face time with someone to develop some sort of a connection. You can't go from 0 to 60, going from a dating app to in person and being like, this is done. Are we attracted? Are we interested? You need to be in the mood, the right environment. You need to see each other a few times. So I truly believe in making that first meetup just a meetup. Casual, don't put too much pressure on it.
Yes.
Don't say you have to be excited about it because I think that, again, sets you up for failure and disappointment. just go into it with, I'm meeting up with someone just to get to know them.
Yeah, I think the excited word is unrealistic. Of course, don't go if you're dreading it, if you feel,
right,
it's going to, you don't want to go in with a negative mentality, just a positive mindset of I'm here to meet someone new. That's all there is. That was the mindset I had when I met my partner. I remember we listened to Jeff Harry's episode about making dating fun again, a play expert we had on, and that put me in a totally different mindset. So we'll do a callback to that episode. If you missed last week's episode, we really deep dive on dating apps, like hardcore, an hour going through all of this. So definitely check that out, because I really believe that the reason why we're all struggling with dating apps is that we're using them in a way that's just not natural.
It's so unnatural. I went to a house party a few weeks ago and I met a few people and I thought they were all fantastic. There was a connection, maybe not romantic. And I remember just going home being like, I would have never swiped on these people on a dating app or Bumble Friends. I would have never thought these were my people. But in person, it's just like the relaxed atmosphere. I had no expectations. There was like no romantic context to anything we were doing. It just made it more organic for that connection.
Yes.
So I hope we can just like go into dating apps maybe with that house party mentality again. Mm-hmm. If I met this person at a house party, would I want to hang out with them again or like get to know them? Yeah, maybe.
It all comes down to energy, which you just can't get from a profile. No. You're wasting your time spending hours dissecting profiles. Like there's no way to know that stuff until you meet. So yeah, hopefully this helps. Expectation setting. You're not alone in feeling that you should be super excited, but it's just not natural. And next time you feel that pressure to be super excited, remind yourself, be like, it's okay. I'm just meeting a new person. That's all.
There you go. Can be very simple. We just overcomplicate online dating so much.
Yes.
It's our fault, but we can start simplifying it and making it much more enjoyable. So Bodhi, make boat face. Hopefully that answers your question. Keep them coming. Again, if you want to send us your brunch talk questions, you can email us hello@dateablepodcast.com. You can DM us on Instagram @dateablepodcast, or you can give us a rating or review, 5 stars in Apple Podcasts. And in the body of your review, tell us your brunch talk question and we'll answer it ASAP like we just did with Bodhi Make Boat Face. You're welcome.
Okay, see you next week.
Bye. The Dateable Podcast is part of the Frolic Media Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram @dateablepodcast and visit dateablepodcast.com for access to all the episodes and our premium programs. Also, make sure to subscribe today if you haven't already on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform so you are the first to get all the latest episodes. And most importantly, stay dateable.